Hey everyone, and welcome to your C# tutorial on state mutation. As you can see, we have Visual Studio pulled up here and the boilerplate code ready to go. We're going to be talking about state mutation here. And so let's begin with a couple definitions. So let's talk about state. So we can think of state as remembered information, that is saved information. And there's a lot of ways that you can save information, but for the purposes of our discussion on classes and objects, we can think of this saved information in terms of variables. So we can think of, state generally is saved information. For our purposes, we're going to think of state as in terms of variables, member variables in a class. So let's also talk about mutation. And so mutation we can think of as the process of changing something. So we have state and we have mutation. So if we take those and put them together, we can think of state mutation as the process of changing saved information, right? And of course, we're thinking of saved information in terms of member variables. So state mutation here as a function of class and objects is the process of changing our member variables in our classes. Okay, so let's look at an example. And below our program class here, let's create a new class and we'll call it person. And we've done this before, right? So we're going to create a public string variable called first name. And we will create a public integer variable called age. And let's instantiate our class up here. We'll start with the type of person. We will give our variable the name of person1. We will set it equal to a new person object. Finish it off with a semicolon. So now, at this point, the state of our person object is pretty much empty. We don't have state. We just have our empty variables here, right? They're ready to be filled and ready to contain something, right? To contain remembered information. So we will say person1 dot first name equals Pete. Okay, so now our person object has, a little state. We can actually also give our person an age of 33. And so now our person object, it has both of our member variables contain information. So we have our person object has state. And so now let's go through the process of changing it or through state mutation. And we will say person, let's say I had a birthday, so Pete had a birthday. And we will set our age to equal 34. So we'll do a console write line here. And we will print out age of, we'll print out person1 first name. So it'll say age of Pete. And we'll say is, and then we'll say person1 dot age. And then after this, we'll say, we'll do another write line. And actually, let's just copy this. Age is now this. So, we have our console write line where we say the age of our person's first name is, and then an age. Then we mutate the state and we change the state a little bit. We change the age variable to 34, and then we print it out here. So let's run this as sort of our quick example of state and state mutation. There we go. So that took a little while because my console was closed. So here we have our age of Pete is 33, age of Pete is now 34. So you can see this is sort of just an illustration of the process of state mutation as it pertains to classes. So this was just kind of to clear up a couple of definitions and to give us an example of how state mutation occurs within classes. Thanks.